Today we're making the Shark's Tooth, a Don the Beachcomber original that you can find at Beach Bum Remixed or the original Beach Bum Berries Grog Log. Those recipes call for a little bit of maraschino cherry syrup, some simple syrup, and then a float of rub. But I'm revising this. Not that there's anything wrong with those original ones, but I just so happen to have $50 worth of cherries, and I want to make my own cherry syrup. I got roped into cherry picking recently, and there's only so many cherries one can eat. So I made it into a syrup, and I'll be replacing pretty much all of the sweeteners in this drink with a 50 bricks cherry syrup. Just coincidentally, a few days before I went cherry picking, I made some cherry syrup with frozen cherries, thinking it would work fine since usually frozen fruit is pretty good. The difference though in those syrups is so substantial, I can't even explain it. The fresh is a million times better. And to make this, you need to juice some cherries, and you could try a juicer, but I'd be a little bit cautious as you could potentially break yours. But a simple juicer like this will work, or even a Ziploc bag. It can get a bit messy though. After I juiced them, I took some of that juice and I put them in my refractometer because I need to know exactly how sweet these are to bring them up to 50 bricks or a 1-to-1 simple syrup ratio. They ended up being just under 20 bricks. Now the math to figure out how much sugar to add can be a little difficult, so I have a spreadsheet that I use, and I just open that up on my phone, and it lets me easily calculate the bricks. If you're on the Make and Drink Discord, there's a Google Doc in there for you to use. I just add the amount of juice I had by weight, then I added its bricks, and then finally I add what I want the final bricks to be. I want this to be 50 bricks, which matches the sugar content of a 1-to-1 simple syrup. I put that in, and it tells me how much sugar to add to my cherry juice. I also copied some of this recipe from the Tropical Standard Grenadine recipe, and I added in 2 grams of citric acid. Turns out my final yield was about double the book's yield, which just calls for 1 gram. So this will just give it a little bit more pop. Later on, I also expressed a few orange twists, which really help round this syrup out. I then double-checked my work in my refractometer, and there you go. A cherry syrup that has the sweetness and the sugar content of a standard simple syrup, and I will be freezing a lot of this because I have so much. People are often surprised to find out that Grenadine, real Grenadine, is pomegranate-based and not cherry-based, but at the same time, most people think of roses when it comes to Grenadine, and is that pomegranate flavor? I don't really think so. It's rose's Grenadine flavor. But when you try this cherry syrup versus a fresh Grenadine, they are so close as you could possibly be in a sugar fruit syrup. And I think that you could actually sub in this cherry syrup for a Grenadine, and in most drinks, it's really not going to be that noticeable. The cherry lacks some of that floralness you get sometimes from a fresh Grenadine, but it is so similar. So let's go ahead and make this. I am going to use a drink mixer, but you can always shake this. Start with ½ ounce of lime juice, ½ ounce of pineapple juice, a heavy ½ ounce of our cherry syrup. And if you don't want to make the cherry syrup, just use ½ ounce of a simple syrup and 1 teaspoon of syrup from maraschino cherries. Then 1 ounce of a Bajan rum and 1 ounce of a dark Jamaican rum. I will blend this for exactly 16.5 seconds. And I will serve this into a glass that has been chilled and has an ice shell that I made earlier today. If you want to know how to make this, check out the videos below in the episode's description that'll teach you how to make these ice shells. I'll serve it with a couple straws and no garnish. The ice is pretty much our garnish. So there you go, a slight tweak and adaptation to the Shark's Tooth. I know the ice shell seems overly complicated, but it's not really. It's the storing of the glass with the ice and taking up freezer space that kind of makes it the most difficult. I have not done this very often, just a handful of times. And in this episode's description, you'll have a couple videos you could watch me as well as Tim Swanky Glazner make ice shells. I encourage you to watch those. But after you watch that, after you try it once or twice, develop your own system for doing this. After I crush ice, it takes me like 30 seconds to make one of these. And yeah, it's a little bit over the top, but there's a simplicity to it as well, like an elegance for these old drinks that you see in Don the Beachcomber pictures on the menu. If you want to recreate those things, or like they do at the Mai Kai, this is kind of the simplest way to do it, as long as you can get some crushed ice and just a little bit of patience. So let's try the shark's tooth. Cheers. What is going to make this much different than the original is kind of the overload of cherry here. And the cherry flavor is still somewhat subdued. It's like eating a fresh cherry. It doesn't have cherry flavor, but there is a bit of extra tartness, which I like, in combination with the lime juice. But, you know, I can see some people might find it overly tart, but it's not a sharp tartness. It's the tartness you get from cherries. So much of the drink got sucked into the ice shell, and if you're using larger crushed ice, and you'll see the Mai Kai has pretty large pieces of ice in there, then less of that will happen. But it's very cold, it's very refreshing. Dark rum flavor comes through. Just a little bit of pineapple juice there too. It's not that strong of a pineapple flavor, but mainly that tart cherry flavor with the dark rum pairing well together, like a rich jamminess with the brown sugar from the Karuba rum. And if you haven't caught up on recent episodes, why did I say 16.5 seconds? Well, I was joking, but what I meant is 17 seconds, because I did a test recently with nugget ice, and if you pull it straight from the freezer like I do, and you use a flash blender, doing something for 15 to 20 seconds is going to be pretty much on track with a bar using ice, nugget crushed ice from their well, or that's been sitting out. So that blend time is relevant to you as long as you understand your ice, the temperature of your ice, but the temperature technically doesn't matter. What we're talking about is the melted water, the surface water on your ice. And when ice is left out in a well or an ice bucket or your ice machine, it's going to have a lot of surface water. So if your ice is around freezing point, which is 32 degrees Fahrenheit, then you're gonna have a lot of surface water, and it's gonna match the dilution you're gonna get from a bar if you follow directions and blend for, let's say, 3, 5, 7 seconds. But if you're at home, pulling it from a freezer where your ice is 0, or mine's like -10, then I need to blend it a lot longer to get the same dilution you would get from a bar. So there you go, a slight variation to the shark's tooth, and just a very simple Don the Beachcomber drink that doesn't require a ton of ingredients like a rum barrel or a zombie, but more in line with a lot of those classic ones that he came out with in the 1930s that just incorporate a couple ingredients that feel tropical, yet are still rum forward. So it's an excellent drink. Play around with it. Use a cherry syrup. Don't use a cherry syrup. Use maraschino syrup if you want to. Get something a little bit different each time. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to support this channel more, I have a Patreon page you can check out. Otherwise, see you on the next one. Your charm. When the dusk is falling and the sunset glows,